What's up, Kyle?
Not much, Jake. Hey,
Um,
everybody.
we're here.
Welcome to episode 12.
It's episode 12.
And we're living, we're surviving. Jake's alive.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Are you?
I'm so not feeling good. No, I feel fine. I woke up really hungover, and then I was like, I gotta go get my tattoo. So I went and got a tattoo. And if I was hungover before, I sure as shit wasn't when I was done. That
Mm-hmm.
shit hurt so much. Got it right on the rib,
Mm-hmm.
which everybody knows that's like,
The worst spot.
yeah, top 5 worst places to get a tattoo in terms of pain. It's up there. It sucked.
Was it one of those moments where you're like, I can take it? Maybe people are over exaggerating.
No, I knew for a fact that it was gonna hurt, without a doubt, because I have one on my wrist, or not on my wrist. I have one on my forearm, but it goes into the wrist at the end, and that was extremely painful. And the lady was like, "Yo, it's gonna feel like that part the whole time." And as soon as she said that, I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no part of me that's excited anymore." Like I was excited. I got it. I'm excited to have it. I think it looks great, but I'm still like, it hurt so much, and I'm tired from it because it was just, my arms were tense. I was grabbing the table so hard. It sucked so bad.
And this is the day after a hangover.
No, this is the day of a hangover.
Yeah.
It sucked because we had friends over, and I got not drunk, but I was drinking, and then so I was drunk, I guess, but like comfortable, functioning, whatever the fuck you want to call it to justify it. I felt good. And then I woke up this morning, I was like, I feel like ass. And yeah.
Then breakfast, tattoo.
Breakfast, tattoo.
Yeah.
Now I'm here.
It's been a good day.
Yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a pretty eventful week.
Yeah.
The Grammys happened.
Grammys did happen. Anything big happen there? I know Billie Eilish won another one.
Billie Eilish won. Beyonce is now the most winning woman in Grammy history.
Hell yeah.
She has, I think, 28.
Queen Bee. Go you.
Taylor Swift set a record.
For what?
She is now the first. Hold on, let me get the record. Let me get it right.
Let me get the record straight.
Beyonce won 4 awards, bringing her lifetime total to 28. She now holds the record for most Grammy wins by a female artist. Blue Ivy Carter, her daughter, also won her first award.
What award did she win?
I don't know, but she won it.
Okay.
She won...
For just being Beyonce's daughter?
No, she won because for her role in the music video for Brown Skin Girl.
Oh, that was her.
Yeah,
okay.
She's in that. So, and then Megan Thee Stallion was the first female rapper to win the Best New Artist Award since Lauryn Hill in 1999. She also won Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song for Savage, featuring Beyonce.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yo, go her.
Yeah, a lot of people won. It was pretty... It apparently was a really good show, too, which is good because the Grammys need that, because the Grammys can suck sometimes.
Yeah.
I love watching award shows. The Grammys can suck.
Well, I think they were like, we have to do really well because it's all pretty much over Zoom now.
Yeah, and I think they just let the artists perform their songs. Like, everything I heard was just, it was really good.
What record did Taylor Swift set?
She, I believe, both Beyonce and Taylor Swift made history at the Grammys. Beyonce's win made her the most awarded woman of all time, which I've said like 3 times. Well, Taylor Swift's win for Folklore for Album of the Year, she is now the first woman artist to win Album of the Year 3 times.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking dope.
Go T Swift.
Love that. Love T Swift. Love it.
Love it.
Otherwise, it was the Grammys. People won. I think
music was played.
Harry Styles won, which is cool.
Good.
Dua Lipa won, which is cool. But yeah, it was just it was good. But then the Oscar noms happened.
Oscar noms. We're not gonna do what we did in an earlier episode.
We're gonna skip over the technical categories.
Yeah,
that's really it. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to spitball who's gonna win for best whatever the fuck, because I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll be blunt.
Killed me in the editing bay.
Yeah,
murdered me.
So, for Best Actor in a Leading Role, the nominees are Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, Stephen Ewan for Minari. It's going to probably be Chadwick Boseman, although Riz Ahmed and Stephen Ewan both made history for being nominated in this category. I think Stephen Ewan is the first Asian American. Yeah. And then Riz Ahmed is the first Pakistani.
Yeah. I really liked Riz Ahmed's acting in that category too.
Well,
I
yeah,
it's gonna go to Chadwick Boseman.
yeah. I've been saying this for months, man.
Yeah,
Just repeat it, man. Just say what
just
I've
gonna
been
do
saying.
it. Just gonna do it.
Uh,
I didn't know that Steven Yeun would be in there though. That's really cool.
yeah, I'm excited that he's in it because yeah, I still need to see that movie, Minari, but I'm excited that he's nominated because
Hmm.
I don't think I don't think it's fallen under the radar, but I think the Globes nominating it for best foreign feature, it fell under a lot of people's radar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that the Oscars have been like, no, Minari. But then for actor in a supporting role, Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah,
Okay.
Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, and Paul Raci for Sound of Metal.
I'm really happy that Paul Raci's in there.
Me too.
That makes me so happy.
I don't know who's gonna win though.
Because I was racking my brain of who's gonna get it. Like I'm thinking of all the good actors, and then I thought about it. I was like, oh wait, Paul Raci's in there. Hell
He's
yeah.
not gonna get it though.
No, he's not. But I'm really happy he's just
so. I want them.
acknowledged.
I want them to give it to Daniel Kaluuya. I think it's a little fucked that Lakeith Stanfield's in there because he should be in the Best Actor category.
Yeah.
Which even he posted on his Instagram a photo of just his notes, and it said, "I don't know why the fuck I'm in that category either, but I'll take it." It's his first Oscar nom.
That's really funny.
Love that energy.
He's like, I know what I'm good for.
Yeah, well, also it's just like he wasn't the supporting actor.
No, he's
He's the main character.
Yeah.
Because then a lot of people, when they saw that, were like, okay, so if the guy that plays Fred Hampton is the supporting actor, which he was, and then the main character in the supporting actor category, who was the main character then? Like,
Yeah.
if the main character isn't in the best, if he's going to get nominated, which he deservedly got nominated, but he's
Yeah.
not getting nominated as the
main
leading role, which he
yeah.
was, I don't know. I think,
That's weird.
yeah, I think it's weird. But I hope it goes to Daniel Kaluuya. I'm excited that Sacha Baron Cohen's nominated because he was really good in The Trial of the Chicago
Mhm.
7. But I think it's going to go to Kaluuya. I also love that Leslie Odom Jr. I wasn't mad at these categories
No.
this year, actually. I thought everybody that was nominated deserved it. Next is actress in a leading role.
Yeah.
Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Nice.
Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday.
Mm.
Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman.
Mm.
Frances McDormand for Nomadland. Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
I hope that the hype of Nomadland is over to the point where Oscars can look at these things more subjectively than just riding the hype wave.
Well, yeah.
So Frances McDormand did a fantastic job. She did. Don't get me wrong.
Who do you want to give it to?
Vanessa Kirby was really good. I just don't want to. After we watch Nomadland, I just don't want to give Nomadland anything it doesn't deserve. But Frances McDormand would be getting it in this case. So
Yeah. So I think it's going to go to Frances McDormand,
Yeah.
although I'd love it to go to Carey Mulligan
yeah,
because she was amazing in Promising Young Woman. That movie is great. That one's grown on me the more I've thought about it because it's a fun, dark, twisted revenge movie, and I love it.
yeah. I found it interesting, just like the people that, because in this field you have to go off and be like, this is what I thought about it. This is what it is to me. I've thought about it. This is logistically, and this is how I feel about it right off the bat. But the only way to really tell if it's like a really good movie is letting it sit with you
Uh-huh.
for like a while, and then being like, okay, I did really like this movie.
That coffee was good. For people not watching the video, I just finished my coffee and it felt great.
Damn, you got that fast.
Yes, I did. For actress in a supporting role, the nominees are Olivia Colman for The Father,
All right.
Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari, and Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film Delivery of Prodigious Bride to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. And I think it's going to go to her.
You think it's gonna go to Maria Bakalova?
I think she
hope
deserves
does.
it. I think she deserves it because I went back and rewatched that movie again, and it's not
does a
bad.
great job.
She's great. It grew on me the second time I watched it because the first time I watched it, I remember being like, yeah, it's not great, and the second time I watched it, I was like, actually, this shit hits.
Yeah, I want to say though, because we haven't mentioned it, is Glenn Close made history too for being the first person to be nominated for an Oscar and a Razzie at the same time.
For the same role?
Yeah, for the same role.
Really?
Yeah, she got nominated for a Razzie. They said that she was fucking awful, and then they also like,
Well,
she
that's the thing.
hits.
When that popped up, so I was watching the nominations happen. This is my Super Bowl. So I was watching the nominations live on my laptop, typing them up as they were announced, which doesn't make sense because they're posted everywhere.
Yeah.
And when they said Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, I was like, I remember when that movie came out, not because I watched it, but because everywhere that reviewed it was like, this is very clearly an Oscar bait movie. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, everybody in this movie could do better. Ron Howard could do better. Amy Adams could do better. Glenn Close could do better. Like, every part of the movie, they were like, it's not that it sucks. It's that it could be better.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it bad, because you're watching a team of people put together a movie that they should have killed.
Yeah,
they didn't.
It's the context of these people are professionals that's been doing this for basically their whole lives. If this was like an indie film, it'd be great. But the fact that it's professional, it's a professionally made film, it could have just hit it so much harder,
yeah.
and it didn't. Yeah, she got nominated for a Razzie and an Oscar.
That's crazy.
I know, it's wild. It just shows you how like not sure anybody is about this movie.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
People are like, she's supposed to be good, so let's give her an Oscar, but she was actually
terrible.
Bad.
Yeah.
But I've always found that hilarious. In reality, though, Maria Bakalova.
I hope she wins, because that was her debut. And I think, first of all, she crushed it. But I hope she wins the Oscar. Just because, one, she's great. And she deserves it. I think of all the people in this category that I've seen, Amanda Seyfried, if she were to win it, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, she did
because
fantastic.
she stole the show in every scene she was in Mank. Like, you wanted to see more of her. But if Bakalova won, it wouldn't disappoint me, because she carried most of Borat too. And which is impressive, because that isn't saying Sacha Baron Cohen was bad. It was just this newcomer actress came in, played along, and crushed it.
Yeah.
So I hope she wins.
She came in with the confidence you need to be a standout actress.
Yeah, dude, she killed it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
For animated feature film, the nominations were Wolfwalkers, Over the Moon, a Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, Onward, and Soul.
It's gonna go Soul.
I just love that Pixar has 2 movies nominated.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty fun.
Onward, I will always say I love that movie. I always gotta say it. That movie's so good.
That movie made me call my brother.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Like, I watched that movie and I called my brother, and it was weird because my brother and I technically aren't even brothers.
Yeah.
We're not blood related, and at this point we're not even step brothers. We're not, for all intents and purposes, like, if there was a drastic accident to happen to one of us and only family was allowed in the hospital room,
they wouldn't let you in.
I'm not allowed in.
Yeah.
And neither would he. Like, he wouldn't be able to get in. But we're brothers. We see each other all the time when we can. I call him all the time. We talk all the time. I love him to death. Watching that movie, I called him and was like, you should watch that movie. I think you'd love that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, it made me think of you. It was great. Which was, we both had the same reaction. We're just like, wow, I love my brother. I miss him. But it was weird because we were like, yeah, we don't have the same dad.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even related. Like we were like, we don't have the same dad. And yet we related so much to that movie. And I love it. But it should go to Soul.
It should go to Soul. And I actually, I just saw a clip for Wolfwalkers the other day.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen anything about Wolfwalkers. I saw a clip. I'm like, the animation's so smooth. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So I gotta watch that.
It's great. It's on Apple TV Plus, which I have. I can hook it up to the TV because it's fucking amazing.
Oh, cool.
It's great.
Dope.
I watched that because that got nominated for, I think, a Golden Globe or something. And I was like, oh my God, because I think it's made by the same people that made the movie The Book of Kells or The Song of Kells or whatever.
Yeah.
They make these movies and they all have that look to them. And I was like, oh no, I'll watch that because they're good. But yeah, so I think it's going to go to Soul.
I think it's going to go to Soul.
For cinematography, they nominated Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, News of the World, which made me really happy because there were shots in News of the World when I was watching it that, like, I literally paused it a couple times and was like, that's a good fucking shot.
Yeah.
And even, like, I watched it with Allie, and Allie at some point was like, oh, that looks good. And I was like, yeah. And again, that movie, I'm glad it's getting some recognition because I didn't think it was going to be great. Tom Hanks didn't get nominated, so it was clearly a vehicle and it didn't get nominated. But I think it deserves the recognition for its cinematography because it did have killer cinematography.
Yeah, it had a couple of pleasant surprises in it.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think it was going to be good, and then I learned it was a Paul Greengrass movie starring Tom Hanks that was great. Loved it. So Nomadland got nominated, which deserves.
Yeah.
And The Trial of Chicago 7, which I don't think deserves it at all.
No.
So have you watched that movie yet?
No, I haven't.
You should watch it. It is good. It deserves it. It's another movie that I think deserves recognition. It is really good. Everybody in it does great, but the cinematography was a little flat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing about it made me go, "Oh, the cinematography's great." Like the movie's really good, but I don't think the cinematography was great. And when it got nominated, I even was like, "Huh," because like Mank deserves it. That black and white looks fucking immaculate. Judas and the Black Messiah deserves it. The way that things have this sort of reflection and glow to them is amazing.
And also just just cinematography alone, the amount of tense.
Yeah, no, it's a
energy it just packs.
It's a greatly shot movie. News of the World deserves it. There are some shots in there that are fucking immaculate. Nomadland deserves it.
That's your favorite part of Nomadland, is cinematography.
Yeah, the cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah.
Charlie, I don't think it deserved it. And then my mom did the thing that she does where she's like, well, if it didn't deserve it, what deserves it? Tenet looked beautiful. I'm thinking of Ending Things. Had amazing cinematography.
Thinking of Ending Things had fantastic cinematography.
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
Which it's because I love, my mom does it all the time. Whenever I'm like, I don't think this movie deserves this.
Just this faith and
yeah, she'll be like, well, if it doesn't, what does? And that's when I just sit there. I'm like, all right, let me flex on you.
Tenet. I have a list.
Tenet deserves it. Any of the films that Steve McQueen directed for small acts, they deserve it.
From what I saw from Lovers Rock
deserved it. Fucking. Now I'm looking at my list of movies.
I'm really sad that Tenet kind of got stepped on.
I am, but I'm not, because Tenet's the one where I'm like, it deserves the love, but like it's not Best Picture.
It's not Best Picture.
It's not Best Actor, Actress, Supporting Actor, or Supporting Actress. It's definitely not Best Writing. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? In the big categories, what are you gonna give it? It's not gonna get Best Original Screenplay.
Just films people say, I don't know where to put it, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it deserves that. Sound of Metal had great cinematography.
I don't know if Sound of Metal would win Best Cinematography, though.
Probably not, but it had great cinematography.
Yeah.
Which is why I'll get frustrated with my mom because she'll say stuff like that, and I'll just be like, no, it doesn't deserve it. You know what else had great cinematography? That got snubbed hard that I'm going to talk about once we're done going over these?
What?
The Five Bloods. But
yeah, The Five Bloods got mentioned for Golden Globes, but then nothing else.
Don't worry. I'm going to talk about it. Give me a minute. But yeah, those are the cinematography.
What did you think out of those 5?
Out of these 5?
Yeah, because you've seen them all. I've seen like a couple of them.
I think Nomadland's gonna get it. I would give it to Mank.
Yeah,
because Mank looked beautiful. It was one of my favorite things about Mank was actually how it looked. But we're gonna skip over costume design because honestly, I don't want to talk about it. I also just don't care. Which, you know, if somebody out there is listening to this and they care and you want to hit me up about it, don't, because I don't care.
Here's his Twitter handle.
And if we blow up down the road and people go back and re-listen to all our old episodes and you're like, wow, Jake, that was really rude of you. Why would you say that about costume design? They're important people. They play a major part in the movies. Yeah, I know. They create all the costumes that the people in the movies wear. I get it. They deserve the recognition. That's why they have the category. I just want to fucking talk about it. So if you hit me up about it later on down the road because you re-listen to this episode and you're like, Jake, that was really rude. I don't like that you didn't acknowledge the costume design. Well, I'm not the Oscars, so go fuck yourself. And I don't care.
His name's Jake. He wasn't.
And my name's Jake, and I don't care. But so the nominees for Best Costume Design. No, the nominees for Best Director are Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round.
Okay.
David Fincher for Mank. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari.
All right.
Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. This category made me happy and slightly frustrated. Makes me happy because Chloe Zhao and Emerald Fennell both just made history.
Yeah.
Simultaneously. So Chloe Zhao is the first Asian American, or not even Asian American, first Asian director to be nominated. Not Asian director to be nominated. First Asian female director to be nominated.
Yeah.
Emerald Fennell is the first female director to be nominated for her directorial debut. And both of them collectively, this is the first time ever that 2 female directors were nominated in the same year. That makes me happy. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
That's
now,
progress.
of the 6 female directors that have ever been nominated and the one winner, they're now part of that, which I think is cool. And I think it's a terribly small number, and more female directors should be nominated and all that. And I don't mean to say and all that because I'd sound like I don't care. I say and all that because if you go to film school, this is a discussion that happens all the time.
Mhm.
And it's not that it's frustrating, it's that there's nothing we can do about it. And it's one of those things like I want to see that change.
Yeah.
But it's not like one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna post on my Instagram story, here's how you can donate, here's how you can make that change. There are great female film directors out there making movies every single year that just don't get the recognition. And I'm glad that these ones did, and I hope that more do going forward. And it's a shame that less have in the past.
Yeah.
Here's why this category sort of annoyed me.
Chloe Zhao shouldn't even be in Best Director. I don't think.
Really?
I don't.
I
The
think
direction of that movie.
that's not why that annoyed
Really?
me. It annoys me that Thomas Vinterberg's directed.
in for
Another round. Yeah. Because this is like, so there was one year, and I'm going to pull it up. There was one year where the movie Cold War got a lot of love, and it deserved all the love. I own this movie. It's amazing. It was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film, Best Cinematography, and Best Director. And it was directed by Pawel Pawlikowski. He made this movie, and he made Ida. He's made a bunch of good movies.
Yeah.
This was also the year that Green Book won Best Picture for Reference of the Year.
Right.
Here's why it annoyed me that he was nominated. That year, there were a lot of great movies that came out. And it's not that I don't think these foreign, that Pawel Pawlikowski, whatever the fuck, deserved recognition for Cold War. He does. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing movie. I think if you want to give, and this is why I think the Oscars can change, and I'm excited because they're attempting to change as time goes on. I think if you want to nominate foreign directors for Best Director, open up a Best Foreign Feature Director category. Because, like that year, Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler deserves the nomination. Because then you've got, but then it's like, well, what about, Alfonso Cuarón won for Roma? And it's like, cool. Yeah, he deserved it. But I think it could be handled like, and this is where I'm trying to word it correctly because it sounds like I don't want them to have this recognition. Like, I think Thomas Vinterberg deserves recognition for Another Round. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, You
think there should be a broader acceptance?
Yeah, because I think then,
directors.
if you look, and we're going to get to Best Picture, but like fucking Sound of Metal, the director of that, they could get nominated. And I think if they're not going to open up a new category, open up the number of people that can get nominated to match the number of nominations that can happen for Best Picture. Because it's not that I get frustrated with it. Like, he deserves the recognition. Pawel Pawlikowski deserves recognition. Alfonso Cuarón deserved the win. And, Yorgos Lanthimos, who was directed the same year as Pawel Pawlikowski, deserves that recognition. I just think they should open up the category more or create a new category for foreign feature directors. Because I don't know. Because then it's like, okay, well, what else is Another Round going to be nominated for? And it's like, well, it's going to be nominated for Best Foreign Feature. And that's it. Because the same thing happened to Cold War. It got cinematography, Best Foreign Feature, and director. It happened to Pain and Glory, made by fucking
Pedro
Almodovar.
Yeah.
That guy. I think that of these nominees too, I think Chloe Zhao is going to get it.
Chloe Zhao's probably going to get it. I just didn't, me personally, I think the direction of the movie could have been handled better if you look at it from like a like how they did their job. Is it impressive that she put together and essentially made this whole huge world and documented it while creating a cool fictional story behind it that retained a lot of the aspects of real nomads? Yeah, it's really, really cool. I think she did a fantastic job. I think it's great she got recognition. Personally, I don't know if I'd give her Best Director, but it's definitely a great job. Good job, Chloe Zhao. I think she did great. I just think some other people have done better.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
So who would you give it to then?
Out of the 5?
Yeah.
I think it would. In my head, I think it would probably go to Emerald Fennell.
Okay.
And then if not Emerald Fennell, probably Thomas Vinterberg. I don't think David Fincher. should
I think.
win that.
See, I would say. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna go to Chloe Zhao, but then I would say Chloe Zhao, Fincher, and again I haven't seen Minari.
Really, you go Chloe Zhao and Fincher.
Yeah, and then Emerald Fennell. But here would be my gripe: if they gave it to Fincher, they should have given it to him before.
For which?
Any? Social Network.
Yeah,
for sure. Social Network. They should have given it to him for Social Network because that's one of the best movies of all time. Gone Girl. Mank wasn't his best movie.
No.
Which it would be one of those situations where I feel if they were to give it to Fincher, which I don't think they will, I think it's just one of those things like we're nominating you because you made a really good movie that glorified Hollywood in its like 30s and 40s and we fucking love to jerk ourselves off. Which they do. But I feel like if they were to give it to him, it would be just like an acknowledgement of his career instead of like, you deserve it for this one. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's not what the Oscars is, and I feel like they sometimes conflate the two.
I know, but sometimes they do that. Like they gave Paul Newman an Oscar for The Color of Money.
They did?
Yeah, that was his one Oscar.
Oh. Okay.
They gave Al Pacino an Oscar for The Scent of a Woman.
Oh damn.
Yeah, they it's one of those things. They happen. It's one of like no, they were really good in that movie. Like Al Pacino was great in Scent of a Woman. Mm-hmm. But you can't tell me that at the point when you have like 6 or 7 nominations and then they give you the Oscar, there's no way that you were that good. Like Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman is great. Doesn't hold a candle to Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon, Godfather 1 and 2, Serpico, or Scarface. Yep. Doesn't hold a candle. So you can't tell me that when they do this shit, it's like, no, that was your best role. It's definitely them being like, you were really good in that and we might have missed it.
With those categories too, it's not like, oh, that was fantastic. If that movie was put in this year, it probably would have won. But in those years, was another movie just better?
No, because with The Godfather, Godfather won Best Picture. Marlon Brando.
I'm not talking about The Godfather. I'm talking about just like movies that lose in certain years that probably wouldn't have won in another year because they're just surrounded by just a different slew of content.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then you get into the thing of like they've fucked up Best Picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe, but at the same time, like maybe not. Maybe they just fuck up. Maybe it's like, yeah, no,
which happens.
Which happens.
Yeah.
But
that's Best Director.
But yeah, so Best Director, I think it's gonna go to Chloe Zhao.
Okay. I mean, I think it's going to go to Chloe Zhao. I just personally think probably Emerald Fennell was great.
Hey, all right.
I think that movie killed it.
All right. Next, I don't want to talk about documentary features, but Time got nominated, and that makes me hype. I hope it wins.
Nice.
But so for film editing, not a lot to talk about. This is just something that I realized what was going to happen early on in the nominees. Mm-hmm. The Father got nominated. I haven't seen it. It's not available to rent yet. I don't know what it does, but it clearly did something right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know who's going to win. Because for film editing, I don't know. All the movies nominated, it makes sense. Trial of Chicago 7 was nominated. Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, Nomadland, and The Father. This is one that I'm indifferent to. It could go to any of them. I don't really care.
I really like Sound of Metal's editing.
I like their sound editing.
Yeah. Well, is it just overall editing?
This is like video editing.
Video editing? Okay.
Because they have a sound.
I liked in the opening when just shit's so quick and all the POVs change, and I really liked the opening of that movie. That really locked me in for video editing.
Like Sound of Metal is nominated for sound, which I think it'll win. But
yeah.
So after that, then we get into writing. Best writing adapted screenplay. So these are all the movies based on writings previously released. The White Tiger, One Night in Miami, Nomadland, The Father, and Borat's subsequent movie film Delivery of Prodigious Bride to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
That's an adapted.
Yep. I had the same reaction. Yes.
Adapted from what?
I don't know.
What?
But it was adapted from something.
Wow. I think One Night in Miami.
I do too. I actually think One Night in Miami might take it.
Yeah. But wait, that's amazing that Borat was an adapted
wrap your head around that one. And then original screenplay, the nominees are The Trial of Chicago 7, Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, Minari, and Judas and the Black Messiah. And I genuinely don't know because Aaron Sorkin is an amazing writer in terms of film writing. So Trial of Chicago 7 might get it. Judas and the Black Messiah was written really well. It was really tight.
Yeah.
Sound of Metal was great. Promising Young Woman was written really well, especially for the ending of the movie and not seeing it coming. It was written immaculately. And then I haven't seen Minari. It's supposed to be amazing. So this is actually one of the categories that I'm like, I have no clue, and I wouldn't be mad at any of it.
I really liked, if I were to pick one, I really like Judas and the Black Messiah. I think they killed that.
See, I would actually say Trial of Chicago 7.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a reason. The whole movie is written, and it's all about this trial that happens because a riot happened. And the whole movie, they're talking about this riot, and you never really see it. And then you learn some information about one of the characters and what part they played in the riot, and then you see how it happened. And I think the way that it's written around this event, and then when you see it, I think it's great. It
unravels at a fair pace.
It's the pacing's great, but then the way that like the pacing's really good, and then the way that it's tied together is just really, really good. And that's really the only reason I'm like, I would give it to them, because in terms of writing, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That they pulled that off. That isn't saying that I don't want it to go to all these other movies, because I'd love it if it went to any of them.
But to keep somebody's interest in an event that they haven't seen for a fair amount of time.
And then to write the event.
Yeah.
To write the event well enough that it's like, oh shit. Like, it was really good.
Cool.
And then the nominees for Best Picture.
Best Picture.
The Father. I don't know what it is.
I don't either.
But it did something, right? Judas and the Black Messiah.
Nice.
Mank. Okay. Minari. Nomadland. Promising Young Woman. Sound of Metal. And The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Sound of Metal.
No way.
That is my vote.
It's definitely not going to.
I know, it has my vote though.
I think it's between Minari and Nomadland.
I think it is too.
And I don't know which one's it going to go to. But yeah, that's the Oscar noms. I'm excited.
I'm pumped.
I think, when does it air? April 25th. So that's tight. I'm excited for that.
Oh.
But then, so with the Oscars comes, every year there's always movies that they miss, they don't nominate, and people feel that's not fair.
Yeah, the snubs.
This year, they missed a couple.
A good handful.
Not enough for me for like big enough outrage. Like, it's not like the Oscars so white years when that happens, and it's weird that it's happened a handful of times. It's not like that where it's like, yo, what the fuck? But there are enough that it's like, okay, we missed a couple. First of all, Regina King, who directed One Night in Miami, didn't get nominated.
Didn't even get mentioned.
Nothing. And which also, that wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Which, get rid of Mank. Get rid of The Father.
Yeah.
Throw in One Night in Miami. I know I've kept saying I haven't seen The Father. There's no way that it's doing that much. Period. Like, full stop. No way.
They're like, it's got Anthony Hopkins.
I'm sure it's great. It's apparently it's about a caregiver or a daughter who's a caregiver, and her father, played by Anthony Hopkins, with dementia.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's great. Movies like that, if they're done really well, usually are.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fucking way that this movie was better than One Night in Miami.
Cut to next week when we come back.
When I've watched it.
The Father, and you're like, there's a way.
Another snub is Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always.
Oh, yeah.
Got no love. It's not shocking that it didn't get love, especially because it is about abortion.
Yeah, it just bums you out.
But the main actress deserves some love. If Vanessa Kirby can get love for a fucking Netflix movie that not many people have seen, then this actress deserves love, and she didn't get it, which sucked. Made me a little upset because I loved that movie.
Yeah, you've every time you talk about that movie, you have a lot of love for that movie.
It's so well done for such a heavy topic, and it doesn't make you walk away going like, wow. But like, for such a heavy topic, it makes you just feel, and I loved that.
Yeah.
The Five Bloods,
No love.
it got some love.
A little bit.
Uh,
Wait, where?
it got
Not
a
at the
best
Oscars?
original. It got a best original score nomination.
Oh, okay.
But it should have gotten best cinematography. It should have gotten best actor for Delroy Lindo. Fuck. It should have gotten best director and probably best picture. It was amazing. I think a couple things happened with it. I think the first thing that happened was it was released in June. And all these movies are considered and they can be under consideration. You got to campaign for them. I think Netflix, and it doesn't surprise me, but I think because it was released in June, to campaign for it, they would have had to have been putting money in since June, and it's just easier to campaign for movies like Mank and Pieces of a Woman that came out in November and like December.
Yeah, I remember there wasn't a lot of hype for it
Yeah,
for a long time.
and it's easier to just be like, okay, well, we got to spend this much money on these two movies for this month.
Yeah.
Or we spend this much money on one movie for 6 months. It from a production and financial standpoint, I get why they didn't campaign that hard.
Yeah.
Here's what frustrates me. Delroy Lindo was amazing. He gives a monologue that is career best. A fucking amazing actor giving an amazing monologue. And it's fantastic. My buddy pointed something out to me, though, that I find pretty true. Most award shows, Oscars included, don't nominate the actor that blows you away and makes you uncomfortable. They nominate the actor that makes you sit back and go, wow, they were so good in that. And I recognized while watching it, like, wow, you know, fucking Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker was amazing. Fucking,
Yeah.
you know, Tom Hanks is Forrest Gump. Like, it's Tom Hanks, but he's killing it as Forrest Gump. They don't nominate like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems.
Right.
Uncomfortable to watch.
Very uncomfortable.
Because he's so good that you're not sitting there going, that's Adam Sandler. You're sitting there going, oh my God.
And what's his name? And I'm thinking of anythings.
Yeah.
The dude.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Jesse Plemons. Phenomenal.
He did fantastic.
Delroy Lindo in this movie is so good, and there are scenes that are just uncomfortable because he's pushing it and he's doing so well. I think he deserved it, and he's not going to get it because he wasn't even nominated. But it would have been really good to see, or not good, but it would have been interesting to see him and Chadwick Boseman and Riz Ahmed, 3 of them nominated, just toe-to-toe, because they're all so good. But I think that deserved more love.
Yeah.
The documentary Dick Johnson is Dead, which I think is amazing, and the documentary Boys State, both of them were not nominated for Best Documentary. Both of them deserved it. Both of them were favorites for it. Neither of them got nominated.
Was Boys State good?
Boys State's amazing.
Really?
That's also on Apple Plus. It's worth watching. It's great. I don't have anything to say.
I genuinely don't know what that one's about.
It's about a politics camp.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it makes it's these boys in a state. No, it's basically this thing that happens in, I think, most states. Like, from the way it looks, most states have this. And it's a bunch of young men, like 14, 15, interested in politics that go to this like 2-week camp. And they run it like a democracy.
Huh.
They vote everybody in.
Like the whole camp?
Whole camp. You vote everybody in. Everybody, the highest you can be is governor. But there's like local reps. They basically build a federal government at a smaller level.
Mm-hmm.
But like there are still like local, state, federal, whatever. But it's all in this camp. So there are kids that campaign for governor that don't make it. Governor in the camp is the highest you can get.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to watch. Like, some of these kids are great kids, but they know politics. So like they know that like I'm not going to get that kid's vote, because there's one kid, he's got this deformality on his arm. And then they have other kids that don't vote for him simply because they're prejudiced against, they don't think, for some reason, they're like, he's got to work harder to get the shit done that guy's got to do. So why would I vote for him when I can vote for that guy?
Yeah.
And to watch this happen with young people, it was a really interesting documentary, because it's like that. If that's happening with young people,
it's like a social experiment.
Yeah, it's a giant social experiment.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really cool. It was really good to watch. It's great. It's a great watch.
Cool.
And it's worth watching. But yeah, and I think those are just where they missed the mark. I think that Glenn Close was nominated. Like, fuck off. Don't nominate her.
It's like, we love Glenn Close.
She deserved to win for The Wife, and she didn't. So
Yeah, but here you can't make up for The Wife with Hillbilly Elegy.
yeah, like there's no way. That's what I mean. Like, there's not a lot of snubs, but there's enough that it's like, wow, okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Another surprise was fucking Andra Day for The People versus Billy.
Billie Holiday.
Yeah. Although she is, have you watched it?
No, but I've seen clips.
It's
Is it?
It's bad.
Oh, it's bad?
It's bad. I hated it. It's so loose, and the plot is just so all over the fucking place, and it's experimental, and it's weird, and it just didn't work for me. She is by far the best thing about it.
Is she really great in it?
She's great.
Yeah.
She's not Oscar.
Not Oscar worthy.
Nah, I'm glad she got the recognition, but I just don't think it was great.
Yeah.
Other snubs that I think deserved a little more love. First Cow.
Mm-hmm.
Could have gotten best cinematography. Palm Springs could have gotten best writing. You know, never really. Sometimes always.
Could have gotten just best.
Anything. But yeah, so I don't think a lot of things got snubbed, but I think the things that got snubbed shouldn't have been. Like, they just flat out shouldn't have. But yeah, and I think of them, I think Delroy Lindo, it's a crime that he wasn't nominated.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Damn.
But into some exciting Oscar things. Because Chloe Zhao was nominated, the Chinese government is downplaying the Oscars completely.
Oh.
Because they're downplaying their coverage due to Zhao's political views and because of the documentary short about the Hong Kong protests.
Was it directed by Chloe Zhao?
No, but there's a documentary about it, and the fact that Chloe Zhao was nominated and she's from China. The Chinese government, which is heavily not cool, is downplaying the coverage completely, just to be like, yeah, you know what? We don't really give a fuck because you're probably going to say something bad against us. Or she's going to say something about the protests or something, and they don't want the people of China to see it, which, as a communist government, makes sense.
Yeah.
Happens historically with most communist governments when they're like, you know, somebody from our place got nominated for something big. They're probably going to say something bad about us. How about we just don't show the people?
Yeah.
So.
Because if they see it, they're going to go, hey.
Yeah.
They're talking about you guys.
But it happens. If she wins and she says something, cool. If not, I mean, hey, shit happens.
Hey, fuck the Chinese government.
Yeah, I mean,
Either way.
communism is not great.
Not great.
Historically.
I had to talk to somebody the other day about, she was like, communism's great. And I'm like, on paper. She's like, no, it's great. It just hasn't been done right. I'm like, yeah, on paper.
Yeah, that's why. On paper, it's a great concept.
And I'm like,
in practice, it has never worked.
Yeah, you're not accounting for, you know, people are greedy and they like power.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Just doesn't work.
In other news, Avatar beat Endgame.
Yep.
Highest grossing movie of all time is
Endgame.
Highest grossing movie of all time ever. Do you know what it is?
It's Avatar.
It is now.
It is now.
Again.
Yeah, they released it over the weekend.
In China.
In like
they released
days.
it in China for a weekend. It needed to make $7 million and it made like 24.
Yeah.
So it's got it.
It blew it away.
That being said, I'm sure if they put out Avengers Endgame, I'm sure if Disney, which
re-released
Endgame, even though they just re-released Avatar because they own both, I'm sure Disney could jerk itself off and just have this be a long-running thing.
That's what I said last podcast. I'm like, I wonder if Endgame's going to get re-released or another thing's going to get re-released to pass it again. Yeah. It's just going to become this back and forth thing.
Now, here's something for you.
Yeah.
Adjusted for inflation, do you know what the highest grossing film of all time is?
What?
Take a guess. Shot in the dark.
Titanic.
How about this? I'll give you the top 5.
Okay.
At 5 is Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
At 4 is the first Star Wars movie.
Okay.
So New Hope.
Yeah.
At 3 is Titanic.
Okay.
At 2 is Avatar. What do you think is at number 1?
He is the one.
The Matrix.
No. Nope. Not even close.
What is it?
Gone with the Wind.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit. I mean, now that I think about it, yeah, okay. What year did that come out?
39.
39? Yeah. The dollar was worth something back then because everything else was worth nothing.
Yeah, well, so it's that it's been out. It's that it was re-released in theaters so many times. It won Oscars up the ass. It is an undisputed classic. Home ownership, TV
Hmm.
on TV, renting it when renting became a thing, all that shit adjusted for inflation. It's got a worldwide gross of about $3.739 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Avatar has a worldwide gross of like 3.286. Yeah.
Oh, so that's not even that close when you think of how
No,
that
no,
number is.
it's Gone with the Wind by
Yeah.
a chunk.
by a mile. Holy crap.
Yeah, no. So that's something.
Because I was thinking about it, like, I bet it's gonna be some old movie. And it is. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Avatar beat out Endgame to become the highest grossing movie of all time.
Hell yeah. Time to
Uh,
start a feud.
and then Netflix just
Mhm.
bought the actor Dev Patel. And then Netflix bought Dev Patel's directorial debut for $30 million.
Yeah.
And it's an action revenge thriller about a man played by Dev Patel who emerges from prison and seeks revenge on those who wronged him. And I'm excited for that just because I love Dev Patel.
Dev Patel.
Zuko from the live action.
Oh,
The main
Zuko.
character of Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, him. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know who that
Kid
is.
from Skins.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy in Lion. The David Copperfield movie.
Okay. Yes.
The man who discovered Zero, I believe. I'm a Dev
Oh,
Patel
yeah.
fan.
You like Dev Patel?
I like Dev Patel. I think he's exciting. I think he does great in pretty much everything he's in. So I'm excited to see him in an action movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, he wasn't in Life of Pi. That was a different guy. Fuck off. Yeah, and I think that's exciting because I want to see that movie. It sounds cool. And then in other just TV news, Peaky Blinders season 6 began filming in Liverpool.
Oh, cool.
Which I think is cool, and I think it's funny for two things. One, that show takes place in Liverpool in like the 30s and 40s now. And I like that they don't have a set and that Liverpool is just still grimy enough.
that they just film in
That
Liverpool.
they're just like, hey, you know what? What if instead of building a grimy Liverpool looking street, we just film on a grimy Liverpool street? And it's like, what? But it needs to look like the 40s. It does.
Nothing's changed.
No, it's good.
It's stuck in time.
So I'm excited for that because I love that show. But yeah,
I've been meaning to get into it more.
Great
I
show.
love the bit where it's like, no fighting. No fighting.
no fucking fighting.
No fucking fighting.
Great. Love that show.
And then I saw oh my god, he plays Venom. He's in
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I saw Tom Hardy's monologue to the main character of Peaky
Yeah.
Blinders the other day. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no,
It was
he's
so good.
He's great in it. He's actually amazing in it. Everybody in that show kills it. There's one season finale where they kill one of the main characters off, and then you find out that they don't, and that the Peaky Blinders were in on it, but they don't reveal that they were in on it. So they let the bad guys think they killed one of the brothers.
Right.
And then the Peaky Blinders show up for a meeting with the bad guys near the end of the episode, and the brother shows up and shoots the main bad guy of the season square in the face. And it was amazing. The way they do it's amazing. It's one of the coolest moments in the show, hands down. And I remember because the guy they fake killed was like my favorite character. So I was like, no. And then he showed up at the end of the episode. I was like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Like, it's so good.
So much hype.
I love that show.
So much hype.
And then in music news, Brockhampton.
Oh, shit.
Their Twitter has been weird. It's been
Yeah?
active. Brockhampton is a group of young men and creators who
Just wild dudes.
they make music and they make their own music videos, and they're fucking cool. They're experimental.
They're crazy. I love them.
They're insane. They're so good though. All of their albums are just good, and it's impressive. They're just awesome.
Dude, when I want to get hyped, I listen to Boogie.
Dude, they're great.
Boogie's great.
So they've been tweeting more, and usually when they tweet, it means new music is coming. And so their tweets haven't had any new music in them.
Mm.
But it's just exciting that they're tweeting I
Just in
guess because
general?
it in historically it means shit's on its way. And I love that.
That's awesome.
And then so I read something online. So I read that oral sex makes you more at risk of mouth and throat cancer.
You got a radioactive dick?
No, it means so no, oral sex, like if a man performs oral sex on a woman, or a woman performs oral sex on a man, or a woman on a man on a man, whatever the fuck. Oral sex. If you perform oral sex, it puts you more at risk for mouth and throat cancer. I think if they were to have told me that at like 13, it still wouldn't scare me.
Yeah.
That's baller as fuck. If I die from cancer of the mouth or throat from eating pussy,
I was about to say you ate too much pussy.
from going down on a girl too much, I would want all the homies dabbing up at my funeral. I would want my dad doing the Rocky pose on his way out of the church. I would want my brother and cousins sea walking at the funeral. I want
just tears.
I want the song Hustlin' by Rick Ross playing as they lower me in the ground. The fucking every day I'm hustling.
And they're all shuffling.
And everybody's just fucking dancing. I want to be buried in a pimp suit if that happens. Like
a zoot suit, yeah.
Anything. I like that's the most baller way to go. And then I looked it up and I'm pretty confident that so there was a brief period of time in the mid 2000s where Michael Douglas had throat cancer.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
He was just going too hard.
I think his wife is Catherine Zeta-Jones. You gonna tell me he's not?
True.
Like, come on now. and she's very vocal about it in interviews that they have a very healthy sex life. So like, you telling me my man got throat cancer from eating, but Michael Douglas a G. Like, you know. I think if that were to happen to me, and I think cancer's terrible. My grandfather died of cancer. Cancer's not funny.
Cancer's not fun. My mom had cancer.
But if I were to die from throat cancer from eating pussy,
would you be okay?
Dude. Yeah.
You'd win?
Bro.
You get up to the pearly gates.
If I were to die from that.
Gabriel would be like, dude, you won.
Right? Like, if I were to die from that, I know it'd be sad and cancer's not funny. That's fucking amazing. That's hilarious. Like
the doctor's trying to figure it out. Do you live near a radiation plant?
Yeah,
no. Do you drink toxic waste?
Whole family's crying. Just his grandfather passed away from cancer. Yeah, that was tragic. How'd he pass away from cancer? Oh, that's so tragic. Like, do they know what might have caused it? Yeah, he went down on his girlfriend too often. That's amazing. I want that. No, I don't want that. But if I were to pick cancers to get and how, that. Hands down, that.
I imagine there's a list of shit that gives you cancer that doctors rattle off while you're in like a hospital bed and they get through it. And it's like, this, and then they look up. The first time they look up, they're just like, have you been eating too much pussy?
Right? Like we can't figure it out. What do you think caused it? I go down on my girlfriend a lot.
That'll do it.
That's it right there.
Yep.
But yeah, and then yeah, that's really it. I don't have a lot more this week. That was really it. I saw that, thought it'd be funny. I was right.
The Oscars, eating pussy gives you cancer.
Yeah, that's it.
I recently, because I didn't talk about this last time, I saw Kajillionaire.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I loved the cinematography of it and just the sets and the colors. I thought the pink foam was like a really cool, interesting way to like, these guys live as needlessly as possible.
Yeah.
And it's a wild, wild way to live. And the way they go through, like, these people have no emotions until, like, the big one happens. And the trope of every time there's an earthquake, it's getting closer to something. And when it finally happens, they're supposed to be, like, reborn. Are they? No.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No. They're the same people.
And she thinks it, like, when she thinks it happened, she's like, she becomes this loving, caring person.
Yeah.
Which I did love. I did love that, but I also loved everybody's reaction of just like you needed a disaster to happen for that. Like I did love that part of the movie when there's the earthquake that happens and the main character's just like, "Oh my god, you look amazing and I love life." And everybody that she's saying it to is just like, "That's what you needed? You needed a life-altering event to just care."
So repressed.
Yeah.
And so hard to get out cuz at like every time she'd go to like a meeting for like what was it? The babies going like trying to get to the like their mom's breasts or whatever and she was trying to like be vocal about needing attention or love and just didn't. She almost died, and she's like, "It's different now." Also, the only thing you talked about it, I didn't mind it until you said it. You're like, I didn't like the voice. I didn't like the
hated
voice.
I hate Evan Rachel Wood is amazing in that movie. The voice she uses for that character, I don't know if it was a creative choice. I don't know if it was written in. I don't know if she had to do it. I fucking hated it.
Yeah, you really hated it.
Just
Yeah,
it's hard to take a character seriously. Like, have you watched Westworld?
yeah,
Okay.
bits. Yeah,
When you know what the actor sounds like, and then she's having, because the scenes with her and the girlfriend,
Mhm.
I loved the dynamic.
Oh, they're great.
But when they're trying to have a heart to heart, and then all of a sudden it's just, well, I don't operate that way. It's like, really?
I don't
Fucking
have
just
character.
talk normal.
Yeah,
Like, I just didn't like her voice. It was the one detractor for me from the movie. I thought the movie itself was really, really good.
I thought the movie was great. I thought that the way they made her look, like her hair's wicked long, because they just don't want to spend money on haircuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool as shit. That's interesting. And also the fact that it was labeled and advertised as a comedy. And it took me like 30 minutes to start laughing at it because I was like, wow, this is a really sad life. And then once that became like the normal
Yeah.
for me and you got accustomed to it, so many things are so funny. Like her name being given to her, Old Dolio, because they thought a homeless guy would give her money after he died and he didn't. I'm like, that's fucking funny. But I thought Kajillionaire was a great movie. I thought it was an interesting plot. I thought the end wrapping up with her getting her share through the gifts she got from her parents was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. So I was pretty happy about it. It didn't like blow me away, but I was like, I feel happy,
Yeah.
feel good about it. There's one new game coming out that just got announced. I think you would like it.
Okay.
It's pretty peaceful.
What game?
It's called Season.
Okay.
It's coming out for the PS5.
Okay.
Its art is pretty minimalistic and realistic, and it's about you're a young black woman who leaves a secluded town for the first time, and you're exploring the world. First time seeing it, and you have a tape recorder and a camera, and you're recording different pieces of different cultures before they're eradicated by a huge event, like a world-ending event.
Okay.
And there's nothing you can do, but it's really you just like bearing witness to this event before
Okay.
it happens and recording it and getting pieces of like a time capsule of these cultures. And it looks beautiful, and the music is gorgeous, and I'm super pumped for it. It's at
Yeah.
that point where I'm like, okay, good games are starting to come out for the PS5. I'm excited for when I can actually get one and start playing these games. Season's gonna be one of the first ones I get. It looks like it's gonna be amazing.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it is gonna be cool.
One last bit of video game news.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights.
Ooh,
It has been delayed to 2022.
never mind. When that
Which-
sucks.
I wish it hadn't been, because I love anything that's in that Arkham world
It's amazing.
from the Rocksteady games that were then somewhat picked up by Warner Brothers Montreal. This game is being made by Warner Brothers Montreal, but it looked cool, so I hope when it comes out that it's good. I'm still hyped though, because Rocksteady's next game is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Really?
Yeah, and that just
Ooh.
sounds cool.
Rocksteady always puts out great games.
Rocksteady's out. Yeah, their games are amazing.
Mhm.
On a much more somber note, because we don't talk about really world events that much unless we feel the need to.
I think this is a
Yeah. So was it Atlanta?
it was Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. So in Atlanta, a man targeted and killed several women of Asian descent in
6
shootings around the Atlanta
Yeah.
area.
6 women of Asian descent, 4 of them of Korean descent. And
Yeah.
he went to 3 different Asian spas
And just killed them.
and just killed them.
And a lot of the coverage that isn't celebrity coverage or just people reading the headlines. Most of the headlines aren't calling it a hate crime,
They're saying he says he's not racially motivated, so we're going to take it at face value.
but it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is a hate crime, and especially in the past year we've had with coronavirus, it also is just, for people that don't know, a lot of Asian crime,
Mm-hmm.
like people
Crimes committed
against
to
Asian
Asians,
people.
Yeah.
Has been skyrocketing
Mhm.
at a very dramatic rate.
And this should have been a wake-up call for everybody. Just
Yeah.
like, this is an issue, and a lot of people that are in power and in government we're just like, well, he said he wasn't racist, so we're gonna believe him.
Yeah.
No, that's not the response.
So 8 people were killed.
Mhm.
6 victims were Asian.
6 victims are Asian. Yeah.
So first of all, it's tragic.
Yes, it's extremely tragic.
It's disgusting to me that headlines aren't calling it a hate crime, because if and it's the racial bias in the country that is so deeply rooted. If a white man shot 10 black people,
Mhm.
people call it a hate crime,
Yeah.
hands down. The fact that a white person goes out and kills 8 people, 6 of them Asian, at spas, targeting them,
Went to specifically Asian spas
and
to-
targeted these people, and you're not calling it a hate crime, is baffling to me. Because then also, if a black dude went out and killed 10 white people just because they were white, that's a racially biased hate crime.
Yeah.
So it's baffling to me. A lot of Asian entertainers in the entertainment industry have come out saying, don't be silent. But it's just a heartbreaking thing that has happened. It's sad.
Mhm.
I think that people need to do better. If it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, call it a duck.
Mhm.
The fact that it looks like a hate crime, sounds like a hate crime,
It
and
is
you're
a hate
not
crime.
calling it a hate crime, it baffles me, because it was a hate crime.
Mhm.
But it's heartbreaking. I think our hearts go out to everybody. I
Yeah, I
mean,
was
fucking
gonna say, man.
Domino's
Domino's.
released a fucking statement. Like,
What did Domino's say?
they just said, we cannot heal as a nation if innocent people continue to be assaulted for simply being who they are. We cannot unite as a people if we cannot see each other as people, as unique individuals who deserve dignity, respect, understanding, and equality. As a brand that brings people together, we denounce any forms of violence and discrimination. Join us in helping to stop Asian hate.
Dude, Domino's.
Dude, Domino's killed it.
Domino's.
But yeah, I think it's just the initial coverage, because now they're calling it a hate crime, which makes sense. Now they're saying these things, which makes sense. But initially, when it happened, it wasn't being called a hate crime. It's a fucking domestic terrorist
Because
attack.
people are
and hate crime.
afraid. People are afraid to say hate crime when it's not against a black person. If it's
The
against-
racial bias is insane.
If it's a black person, it's a hate crime. What about all these other races? Well, nah.
But yeah, I think
It's just frustrating. It's a frustrating.
It's frustrating and
response,
heartbreaking,
yeah.
and it just broke my heart.
Yeah. So our love. There's not much we can do at this point except
Yeah.
to spread awareness
And donate where you can.
Yeah.
There's places you can donate if you research them. But yeah, I think it's just heartbreaking.
and our hearts again
Our hearts go out.
to the victims and
But
their
yeah,
families.
on a lighter note, I think now that we're pretty much wrapping up this episode,
Mhm.
I think I'm going to go. I want you to guess the movie I'm going to watch. I think I'm going to go watch the movie about the group of road dwellers in Middle America whose resilience and sense of community helped them endure the economic decline of a country that's left them behind. Do you know what movie I think I'm going to watch?
Hmm.
Cars.
You know what movie I'm gonna go watch?
Hmm.
The Snyder Cut. I think.
I think I'm going to do that. I have
Yeah.
other things I need to do today, but my game plan, I at least want to watch half of it. But yeah.
But thanks for watching,
listening,
everybody.
and yeah.
Watching,
Yeah.
listening. We love you all,
Yeah.
and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you next time.
Hopefully your tattoos all healed up by then.
Dude, it hurts so bad.